I don't want to ever have a studio without it. Not too many things don't break in 23 years. It's been so reliable, and that's where we are with Equi Tech.
I says, pretty cool, huh? He says, no, not pretty cool. He said, this is unbelievable. I've been working with this equipment and developing it for 17 years, and it's never sounded like this.
I've never been happier with our power until we started using Equi Tech. I'm John McBride. I am Chief Bottle Washer at Blackbird Studio. It has been reliable and pretty unbelievable.
My name is Joe Salvatto, and I've been working in the professional audio business for 45 years of my life. I worked in A&R recording studios, Giant Recording, Electric Lady Studios, Right Track Recording, BMG, and that's what brings me to my career right now. Electricity in the United States and pretty much all over the world is not really set up for audio. For the most part, we're trying to be able to give the audio equipment what it needs.
I really wanted to start a studio. To use a Tennessee expression, the bankers looked at me like a hog staring at a wristwatch. They didn't have any idea, what are you talking about, a recording studio? But I closed on 2806 Azalea Place, which was the first building in Blackbird. We ended up rewiring, re-electricity, re-everything, and added a big room and changed the control room, the main control room. So we ended up adding 8 feet to the back and going a little wider, and it's just nuts. I have this personality flaw where I don't want to ever let anyone down. It makes it harder, because you're always trying to analyze whatever this business is and think, okay, I'm going to divide the studio into electricity, signal flow, power. We have tech power and we have house power. What can we do to improve that? I will not up a session by having a buzz in the headphones. I can't do that. I don't want to fail in any way, shape, or form.
I want to tell you about someone that is responsible for the Equi Techs coming into the world. His name is Martin Glassman. He wanted to fix the problem, not the symptoms. And that's how we get to this point. I was at an AES show in 2003, and Martin walks out into the aisle and says, oh, you're the chief at Electric Lady. I says, yeah. He says, you guys have SSL J9000s, right? I says, yeah, we do. He says, you know the sound the console makes when all the faders are at zero, the master fader is up, and you turn the volume control up? What do you hear? I says, I don't know. Sss. He says, well, with this box, that doesn't happen. I says, what do you mean? That's the sound of transistor switching. It's system noise. He says, no, it's not. It's actually the sound of a dirty bridge rectifier. It was an aha moment to be sure that this may be really something special. All this equipment here was surrounded by vintage legacy equipment. Every one of them has got some sort of its own groove going on. We can't go back and re-engineer the power supplies on all this lovely legacy equipment here, but we can feed it power in such a way that it all, in a unified fashion, operates far more dynamically. What Equi Tech does is it puts 60 volts of electricity on either side of the outlet, on the left side and the right side, giving us 120 volts out with respect to the ground hole. Why is that important? This gives us what we call balanced power or symmetrical power to feed all the audio gear.
I was talking to someone who brought up Equi Tech, and I go, is it great? They go, dude, everything I'm hearing is great. They make portable units that you can take into a session, and that will clean up problems. And I'm thinking, well, this is something we need.
Every time I've gone to put the studios together or make an addition of an Equi Tech, even in somebody's studio that's been sedentary for many years, you plug it in and all of a sudden the guy goes, what just happened? Make no mistake, this transformer is proprietary in its design. Martin designed the way that it is constructed, gave it to one manufacturer in the world that has been building these transformers since the moment that he did the first beta test. It is not something that everybody else can have because they are only building it for Equi Tech.
I remember I called Martin because I had questions. I go, is there any particular thing that won't work with balanced power? Because I want to have an alternative if somebody needs something different. But outside of going into house power, which is more than likely going to create a buzz of some sort, just the reassurance I had from him, and we have never not been able to use balanced power on anything, everything that's happened here in 23 years, and a lot of records and a lot of artists. It's never broken. It's never failed. it just gives me this huge confidence in that power. And I know our power is quieter. I mean, we have 25 or 30 portable Equi Tech units, but we have 10 or 12 200 amp panels spread out around this place. And that kind of reliability blows me away.